Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Dynasty Pros Devy Show. Alongside SC Romero and JustinTaylor, I am Tommy Harvey. Tonight we will dive into some Devy goodness in the ACC. All that is coming up right now. ACC Devy relevant players. We're going to give you a couple names to keep an eye on. Also, they may not be high end Devy guys, but we're going to give you a couple names to keep an eye on. First off, we're going to start off with the QB position. All right, guys, let's go and jump into these ACC quarterbacks. What everybody knows Drake Maye, but let's go and start jumping into to guys beyond that. SC, what do you think of these ACC quarterbacks?
A lot of it is like, we want to see a little bit more, like you said, we know about Drake Maye. I like Cade Klubnik out at Clemson. I've spoke about him a little bit more. He's just a very fluid quarterback. I like the way he moves. I think he has a nice arm. He has some good IQ. Riley Leonard is, a guy I'm looking at a little bit more and more as I am diving into the ACC. Last Duke quarterback, that we can think of right now, at least in my eyes, is Daniel Jones. And Riley Leonard kind of seems like a little bit better of a Daniel Jones. He's a good threat with his legs. He can make the play outside the pocket, but he has a strong NFL arm, so he's fast enough to pick up the yards if he needs to by himself, but he can also make the throw to his receivers, which, you might not hear much about. So it might just be a Riley Leonard show out of Duke. And I think this is a year where if he shines in a conference that doesn't have the limelight of like your big, SEC or your Caleb Williams, Drake Maye is good, but this is an open conference as far as the top quarterback. I still believe, we all jumped on the Drake Maye bandwagon last year. I feel like as far as him just being a great quarterback, but I still think there's opportunity for there. Another guy I like really a lot is Jordan Travis. And my question really is this FSU's year? They have a great running back. They have some good wide receivers. They have Jordan Travis. This is a year where if he puts it all together, we could see another strong performance from a Florida State quarterback, something we really haven't seen as much since the Jameis Winston era, So this is something that I'm really excited to see in those two guys. My kind of sleeper guy, I would say, is probably Emory Williams. I don't know if it's just I'm not the biggest fan of Tyler Van Dyke out at Miami. Everything I've seen in him, I'm just not sold on him, but I really do like Emory Williams. I think he's a steady pocket passer. He's someone that doesn't seem like he folds under pressure. If the guy's coming right at him, he's still making a beautiful throw. He's not budging. He's not fidgeting or anything like that. He's still making a great throw. So I'm excited to see what's to come from him. It might be Tyler Van Dyke's show, but I think Emory Williams is someone you want to watch as far as those quarterbacks out of Miami.
Sure. I was actually just about to ask about Tyler Van Dyke and what you guys thought about him. A couple years ago, he was getting big time NFL draft hype, and last year he had some injury issues and kind of really fell off to the point where nobody's talking about him anymore. Do you think he's able to regain any type of form?
He's gonna have to have a stellar season. He's got to go out there and just do a lot. The team itself, you have some great weapons there, but I'm just not sold on his playing style. Like I don't see anything that tells me this is a draft prospect. I just don't see. He's kind of gone down the hill for me, and yet you have this Emory guy, kind of rising up the hill for me. So he's got to turn it around completely. He's gonna have to have at least a 500, win-loss for this team, I think, for anything to just pop for him, in my eyes.
Yeah, I agree. I think, Miami had all these guys everyone was talking about, feeling good about them, high prospects. It just feels like they can't get it together in Miami. No one's popping. All the guys we heard about coming in, all these guys, great prospects. Let pick them up in Devy, pick them up everywhere you can. It just feels like Miami's a little bit of a disaster right now. And Tyler Van Dyke's the guy. If I don't have him already, I'm not picking him up. If I got him, I'm just hoping and praying he gets it together this season. But there's so many other guys I'd rather have than him at this point, because like SC said, he's going to have a monster year to get back in good favor with the NFL people, I think, because he was that guy everybody saw the potential, and then he just has not hit that level where everybody thought the potential was going to be.
Sure. In my opinion, I think that the ACC is a 3-quarterback league whenever it comes to Devy. You got Maye, you got Klubnik, and then you got Riley Leonard. I'm not sold on Jordan Travis as being an NFL guy. To me, he's kind of a poor man's Bo Nix, and you know how I feel about Bo Nix. I think he's an XFL quarterback.
Huh?
I like Jordan Travis for like CFF and maybe in a C2C, but if I'm in a straight Devy league, I don't know about Jordan Travis. I like him as a player. I like him as a college player. I'm just not seeing the transition to the NFL.
Right.
I'm having a hard time seeing how he becomes a legit NFL quarterback. Now, we just saw Bryce Young. They'll take a chance on smaller guys, but you got to be elite if you're smaller for them to take a shot on you. I think that Florida State team is going to be good. I think Jordan Travis is going to get a ton of hype. I don't think it translates to the NFL.
I think he has a ton of
I think that's something good that y'all bring up, though, because he's definitely going to be someone that's a possibility of greatness, but is it him or is it the weapons around him? That's something you really got to look at quarterbacks. Is the quarterback good or are the weapons elite? And that's something that a lot of people misinterpret, because they're like, man, this quarterback threw for 4,000, 5,000, whatever, how many yards. But then you look at the wide receivers, and these wide receivers are catching contested ball after contested ball, so they're not really making it easy for the wide receivers. The wide receivers are making it easy for the quarterback. And Jordan Travis, he has some monsters on the outside. So, I mean, he really just has to throw it up, and he can get some guys there. So it's going to be very interesting to see. What you definitely want to watch are these close contested catches that these wide receivers are making, or is Jordan Travis actually leading them down the field to find an open spot?
Well, Florida State has a really dynamic offense this year. Obviously, we've talked about Jordan Travis, and then Trey Benson is really rising up draft boards also. And then they brought in, they already had Johnny Wilson. Then they brought in Keon Coleman, who I think is their wide receiver one. And Jaheim Bell, the tight end from South Carolina, he's tremendous also. So I think that Florida State offense is going to have a really big year.
What are your thoughts on? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead with Florida State.
I was just going to say, I think it's a weak ACC, and I think this Florida State team is going to be near the top, pushing Clemson. I really do. So I think that helps Jordan Travis's stock, but we've seen that a million times in college football where a team is great, their quarterback plays super well, but everyone in the NFL looks at him as like, that's not an NFL guy. They just look at him like, hey, yeah, were you great in college? Did your team, win at a high pace? But does that translate? And that's where I'm worried about Jordan Travis. I think he's going to be good. I actually think FSU has a great shot to win the ACC. Mm-hmm. I just don't know if that is going to turn into anything other than maybe a 5th, 6th round pick for Jordan Travis.
Yeah, I think Riley Leonard is the guy who's going to really rise up draft boards this year. Now, granted, he still has another year of eligibility left if he wanted to come back and be a 25 guy. But I think in 24 he has a real possibility of jumping up into that QB 3-4 range.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about before that it's Caleb, Drake, Maye, and then the spot's open, right? So I mean, that is something. It's something like where we're seeing Bo Nix, how he went back, where it's like, okay, maybe I wasn't going to be one of the top quarterbacks, so maybe I should try another year. This is an opportunity for Riley, though, if he does get that hype to be one of the top quarterbacks. I mean, you have to go out. Yeah. What else? I know you said your quarterback room is just 3 guys here, but what are your thoughts on Phil Jerkovich since he's going to Pittsburgh now from Boston College?
I don't think he was very good at Boston College. I don't think he's going to be very good at Pitt. I know he was getting some hype prior to last season, but I don't see it.
Yeah, he's going to have to absolutely ball out at Pittsburgh to get what the hype was 2 years ago for him, I think. I mean, people were kind of jumping on him at Boston College 2 years ago. I've got him in a couple Devy leagues that I got in him early for cheap, but unless he just plays out of his mind, I don't see how he jumps up into NFL circles. It's going to be tough. The guy that intrigues me in this group, honestly, is Brady Allen from Louisville. Mm-hmm. I think Brady Allen has some talent. He moved from Purdue to Louisville with his head coach, who's proven to put up insanely great offensive numbers for quarterbacks and wide receivers. He's the guy I'm watching out for. I don't think Louisville is very good. I have to be honest. I don't think they're going to be very good, but I think they have a shot to have a pretty solid offense. And I think Allen could ball out. And I could see him jumping way up this list if he has a great season at Louisville this year. Now, it's questionable. But I like his talent. And I think it's a wide open position. And the fact that he has a coach that's an offensive mind and already knows him, I think gives him a big leg up. To me, he might even be slotting into number 4 in this division behind Jordan Travis, or just behind him, depending on how this season works out. But Brady Allen, I feel like, might have a higher upside in the long run.
Just to go off y'all's thing on Jerkovich, prime example, he had Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers made him look good.
Mm-hmm. Well, and
exactly.
You mentioned Brady Allen, and I think Brady Allen's at least a year away. I think they're going to go with Jack Plummer this year at Louisville, the Cal transfer. But I do agree Brady Allen has a lot of talent. Braun brought him into Purdue for a reason there, and then he brought him with him from Purdue for a reason. So, as you can tell, my dogs are going nuts for a reason for a second here. So we'll go ahead and move on to
real quick. I just want to jump in real quick about Cade Klubnik. I think this is a big make or break year for Cade when it comes to Devy, because he got a little bit of chance. He's always behind DJ. Now he's got a chance to make this his team. He's the guy, clear cut number 1. If he comes out and balls, I think he moves way up. If he struggles, I could see the bottom dropping out on Cade, because he's already a little smaller. He's not a huge guy. He had decent, obviously people loved him coming out of high school. But I feel like it's a big year for him. If you got Cade Klubnik shares, which I do, I have a bunch of them. I feel like this is a make or break year for him in this thing. Now, he can obviously go back to school, get another year, get better. But as far as his value goes, I think it's a huge season for his value.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because I think right now it's Allar and Klubnik at the 2025 top, right? So, but I mean, this goes to show how much things could transition and change, right? How much someone could be, at the top and look great, a year ago, and then one bad season could just drop them, So I think that's very intriguing to say, and definitely something. He has weapons, so it's just can he utilize it, and can he make the plays when he needs to?
Yeah,
and I always think when you're on a big team like Clemson, you've got all the weapons. If you don't show out as a quarterback, people start questioning you, like, hey, you got all the talent. You guys are pulling in 4 or 5 stars. Why are you not making it? Where I think, on the opposite side, if you're a guy, in a small school, if you're at a Louisville or a Syracuse, maybe people are like, well, you don't have as many good guys to make you look good. So I think that's the one thing that's going to hurt Klubnik. If he doesn't look really good this year, people are going to be like, dude, you have all this talent around you. Why do you not look good? So I think that's part of the, two-sided thing with the talent. Everybody wants you to have the talent, But if you don't look good with the talent, then they hold it against you.
For sure.
Yeah, there was another guy I was wanting to ask you guys about. Mitch Griffiths at Wake Forest. What do you see him having any type of NFL prospects, or was he just stuck behind Sam Hartman because Sam Hartman was all they had?
I'll jump in on here. I actually like him. I'm not sure what his Devy potential is. If I'm in a C2C or a CFF league, I've been picking him up everywhere because I think he's the guy that's going to put up good stats, and I think he has a chance to rise. Now, if you're in a deep Devy draft, maybe I grab him, or I'm waiting until next year. But if I'm in a CFF or a C2C, he's a guy I want to grab because especially C2C, because I think he could give me great college production with a chance that he's going to move his way up the board, even though I'm not going to have to spend much draft capital on him. So I actually like him a lot as far as that. Devy-wise, a little iffy how high he's rated right now, but if I'm in another format, I love him.
Hey, welcome into Austin here. We were talking about Mitch Griffiths. Do you see him as having any type of Devy potential, or is he strictly a CFF producer?
5'11", 192 is what Wake Forest has him listed at. That's just a tough projection. We don't see a lot of guys that size. I mean, you can just say Bryce Young did it, but Bryce Young was at Alabama, was a 5-star, started multiple years, made it to a national championship game. I don't know that Griffiths is going to have any of those things on his resume when he leaves. If he does, then yeah, we might talk about him that way, but no, probably not. Yeah.
The main difference there is Bryce Young was just a wizard in the backfield too, just able to get away from anything and everything. But we were talking about your boy Phil Jerkovich earlier. What do you see from him?
First off, I would prefer to never have Phil Jerkovich and my guy in the same sentence. So thank you very much there, Tommy, before I kick this off. Look, I'm not a Jerkovich guy. I have been very anti-Jerkovich since he went to Notre Dame and then left Notre Dame for Boston College. He's big, he's got a decent arm, and he can run a little bit, but he's not super accurate. I think he has some tunnel vision, some processing issues where he's really looking for one guy, and that's where he wants to go. I think at this point, he can make it to the NFL just because he's big and he can move around. But, man, I think he actually will probably play a little better than Slovis did for Pitt last year. But I don't have, real NFL expectations for him at this stage.
Well, here's the thing with Pitt's offense. They're not really geared towards the quarterback either. So he's not really going to be able to show what he's able to do if he's even able to do anything more than what we've seen from him.
Yeah, I'm surprised they let him come to Pitt because he really spurned them when he left town, and Narduzzi doesn't usually play that game. So maybe he really likes him, and maybe they'll not feature him, but give him some opportunities. I don't know.
Sure, I'm going to throw this list back up on the screen here for you, Austin. Do any of these quarterbacks outside of Drake, Maye, and Klubnik and Leonard do anything for you?
Man, you know what? I do think that Tyler Van Dyke can be a little bit of a post-hype guy. We'll see what he can do. New offensive coordinator Shannon Dawson in town. I think that they're going to push the ball downfield a little bit more, which I think is kind of what Tyler Van Dyke wants to do and is naturally inclined to do. And he's another guy that's, got NFL size, 6'3", 6'4", and he's mobile enough to fit in what the modern NFL wants. So I do like Tyler Van Dyke as kind of a rebound guy. But I think there are a lot of red flags there. Didn't perform well last year. It's a tough projection, but I like him overall.
SC had mentioned Emory Williams. Have you had a chance to take a look at him yet?
My co-host on the Campus to Canton podcast, Colin Decker, really, really likes Emory Williams. I don't dislike Emory Williams. I'm interested to see what Miami does, presuming that Tyler Van Dyke leaves this year. Do they go out and try to get a splashy guy in the portal or something like that? Do they turn to an Emory Williams or they have Curry Brown there as well, right? So one of those guys, I don't really know, but I think he is a quality player. enough uncertainty there that I probably don't love him in a Devy league unless it's really, really, really deep at this stage.
Group of 5 action also. For Austin, JT, SC Romero, I am Tommy Harvey. We will see you guys next time.